This person is asking, how is Cuba a threat to Washington? Before I answer this very good question, I just want to mention part 2 I will film today. It's not actually up yet. I know that's kind of annoying for people who want part 2. But if you want to watch all these videos in one go, you're probably better wait until Friday. These are some of the densest research documents that I've had to wade through, and some of the most complicated editorial framing that I've had to think about, to the point where I skipped my dance class yesterday because I knew if I showed up I wouldn't be listening to what the teacher said to me. Sorry, the cats have zoomies also. Hello? What are you doing? It's complicated research. It's surgical editorial framing. And so to make sure that I get it right, and that also the research materials are processed, organized, put into the folder for someone, and then published. I only want to do one of these a day. This is not today's one. I'll go to the gym and then I'll do another one later. But I want to answer this question because it's ridiculous, right? How is Cuba a threat to the White House? Okay, let's get there. There are rotating justifications for how Cuba is a threat. According to Trump's Executive Order 14380, signed on the 29th of January 2026, the White House fact sheet lists the justifications as: number 1, Russia; number 2, Hamas; number 3, Hezbollah. I can't. Number 4, Maduro. He had Cuban bodyguards. I'm laughing. This is not funny. People are dying. This is their legitimate stated reasoning. They said Russia has an intelligence facility in Cuba. They said Cuba is providing a safe haven for Hamas and Hezbollah. They say Maduro in Venezuela had Cuban bodyguards. And that in general, Cuba spreads communist ideology across the region. And then the 6th reason from the White House: Cuba refuses to accept deported nationals back. Immigration rhetoric. He's hit every bing, 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 bing on the propaganda playbook. Well done. So, the Russian base is real and confirmed. It's just outside Havana. It has operated since the Soviet era. It was partially closed in 2001, and Russia reopened it in 2014. So, at least 10 years old, that news. And also, Russia is not the only one with a base on Cuba. The Hamas and Hezbollah safe haven. I'm going to point you to this independent journalism that you should support by The Belly of the Beast that was out on something in February 2026. So recent. These journalists have already done the research into what he means when he says a Hamas and Hezbollah safe haven, and they said that it's baseless and misleading. There's no evidence for this, and they even have on record a former U.S. intelligence officer, Fulton Armstrong, who stated on the record, "It's obvious that Cuba is not a threat to the national security of the United States. No specific named individuals or operations have been made publicly available by the administration or anybody else." It's just words. It's just Donald's word soup. The Maduro backing comes back as confirmed real, but remember what the Maduro line was? He had bodyguards from Cuba. Okay. And then my search returned this. I kind of really like how this is framed. Communist ideology, baseless, not a legal category. It's rhetoric dressed up as policy. All of it is rhetoric dressed up as policy. On the visa overstay rate, Cuba's B1 overstay rate is low. It's less than 8%. For context, that's lower than every other US ally. By that logic, Ireland should be invaded 10 times over. And then the contradiction that the White House doesn't address is that the Biden administration had completed a full review in January 2025. That review was completed. And that review found no evidence to justify the state sponsor of terrorism designation. UN human rights experts called the reinstatement by Trump a regressive step with no factual basis, contrary to all UN resolutions. When Trump was elected first, he put the designation in on day 1. Biden removed it, and then Trump put it back. Clinton had it on, Obama took it off. Trump put it back again, Biden removed it, Trump put it back again. That designation has switched on and off more than 6 times in the last 2 decades, just based on who's in the White House. Not any change in Cuba's behavior. And every time it goes back on, the reason changes. So 1982, Reagan, it was, oh, they're friends with Nicaragua. 2021, oh, they're friends with Colombia. And 2025, oh, they're friends with Venezuela. This, I'm laughing, I'm making this more lighthearted than it really is, because this is humanity extinction level existential threat scale weaponry being held by the most internally incoherent and inconsistent government the world has ever seen. China also has intelligence facilities in Cuba. China actually has 4 sites on Cuba to Russia's 1. But the White House fact sheet doesn't mention China. It only mentions Russia and Hamas. There's no specific operation. There's no evidence being presented publicly. There's nothing that Russia has done differently since 2014 or 2001 or the Soviet era that would suddenly make this a security threat for the United States. The UN's own human rights experts are calling this reinstatement dismaying, and that it's contrary to all UN resolutions. This is the right question. If you are in the United States, email this question to your elected representative. If you have any kind of political standing, ask your party about that. If you can get into Congress, first question for the president right there. Explain this threat, please. But to embargo a country's energy and then say it's because the Russians are helping Hezbollah install solar panels in Cuba. I can't even get through these sentences. Let me out of the simulation. Put that man in stocks. Because all this is, really, is a threat to his stocks. Do you like what I did there? The reason for this is quite simple and clear. It is propping up the petrodollar, which is about to collapse. It is a distraction from the Epstein files. It is a distraction from any kind of accountability for this administration. And from a intelligence warfare strategic perspective, it is also completely incoherent and unwise. Because people obviously see through the lies. And based on the incoherence of this fact sheet alone, the White House isn't even trying anymore. I think the bigger problem is the fact that nobody has asked that question before now. Nobody has asked in the media or in the Congress to explain this, please. Please explain to me how you've just allowed people in hospitals to die on life support because you're worried that Hamas and the Russians are building solar farms in Cuba. I can't.